best-selling author is back. Anthony L. Kelly with his award-winning book, Saving Miss Caroline, Michi, and Jaja. The link is at the top line of the description box. If you're a reader like me, trust me, you will not be disappointed. Once again, the link is at the top line of the description box. Go claim your copy right now. Back in the building for yet another episode of the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast, and let's get right to it, man. Let's jump right into the news that went down today. Yesterday, Def Jam, announced that they wouldn't be dealing with Kanye West anymore. Their contract is done. Balenciaga, I think the day before, he lost the documentary. Well, today, the biggest shoe of them all dropped. Adidas said that they would be severing ties with Kanye West. And about an hour after the news dropped, TMZ was the first person I seen report this happily and coincidentally put that Kanye West is no longer a billionaire. And they had like a smiley emoji there, like they were happy about that. Not surprising, obviously. But yeah, man, everything it seems like it all falls down for Kanye West. What are your thoughts, Adidas? Now, remember, Kanye famously said, I think it was on Drink Champs, he said that he could say all the anti-Semitic shit that he wants, and Adidas cannot drop him. Adidas dropped him today.
Interesting, right? Very interesting. This is what I'm taking from this whole Kanye situation. And this is the good I'm taking out of it. At least it got black people and Jewish people together in harmony because they all hate Kanye. I've never seen so much vitriol from two cultures about one man in my entire life. But let's keep this in mind, black people, because that's what I am. I'm a black man, so I can talk and speak and relate to us, right? They didn't drop him because he said white lives matter. He didn't drop him because he said slavery was a choice. They didn't drop him for the comments he made toward George Floyd, everything that we are as a culture in an uproar about in regards to Kanye. They dropped him because of the quote-unquote anti-Semitic lyrics, an anti-Semitic conversation or comments that he made toward the Jewish community. Those comments being that it seems as though Jewish people have a hand in all black people's contracts when it comes to music. And he also spoke on how it seems as though Jewish people have the power to put you on or disconnect you at their leisure when it comes to our community. And did he prove that correct? Because we see what happened to JP Morgan. We see what happened with Gap. We've seen what happened with Adidas. We've seen what happened with Vogue. We've seen what happened with Balenciaga. We've seen what happened with Adidas. Now, in my opinion, I think Yeezy is on another level when it comes to Adidas and maybe Gap because he kind of foresaw that he or basically told that he wanted to get about them contracts anyway. And he knew maybe one of the reasons is to get somebody up in an uproar and start getting a hand force because Adidas was very quiet and then people start putting the pressure on them. And then today they say, you know what, we're done with him too. And oh yeah, we own this design. We're going to do what we want. Can't wait to see how that unfolds. This shit is a shit show in itself, man. And I first off, I agree with Kanye, and I'm in support of Kanye. And I don't go home and put up Kanye flags and all that shit, so don't think it's too deep for us. You know what I'm saying? This is billionaire problems, but I just think it's funny, and we're watching how it plays out in real time and seeing people's cards for real.
Yeah, and all the people like Ebro, Twalib Kweli that are pretty much championing these campaigns to say, look, I told you so. Charlemagne, Duval was hating.
Damn.
Lil Duval left a hating comment. I'm like, come on, dog. It's like, here's my take on it, though, man. I'm looking at this thing, and when I seen, I think his name is Pierce Morgan or some shit. Pierce something Brosnan.
Dude he interviewed with?
Yeah, the Australian cat or whatever.
Right.
I looked at his interview, and I watched a lot of it, not all of it. I'm like, yo, this dude is nothing crazy about this dude. As a matter of fact, he's doing everything I think calculated. And I think everything he's doing is calculated. Now, sometimes when you do stuff calculated, you don't really know what the response is going to be. Like when you're in a chessboard, you never kind of know. But sometimes you do. Mm-hmm. You know that if I make this move, they're going to make this move. Mm-hmm. And I think that in some weird way, he foreseen this happening. And I think this could only be a great thing. And a lot of people say, how could it be a great thing? I mean, you lost, half of your net worth, with this and that. But look, like you said, he wanted to be done with these companies anyway. Sure. Why? Who knows? Maybe he felt like a slave. Maybe he felt like, who knows what the situation is. But my thing is, anytime it's an ending, it's always a new beginning that could happen. Now, I don't think Nike will pick him up. I don't think Puma will pick him up. But rest assured, and this is one thing that we need to bank on, is the spending power of black people, right? Is powerful. Over $1 trillion per year. And a lot of things that we spend our money on is one, health and beauty products, and fashion. We're going in there, we're buying the Jordans. We're buying, even though they said we don't have money, we in Bloomingdale's. We in, Saks. We in all these different places. And what do they sell in there? Balenciaga. And so all that stuff in there. So we're consuming this shit. I said earlier, fuck Adidas and fuck Balenciaga. I was going to wear Adidas jumpsuit today. But I'm like, you know what, man? If they saying fuck Yeezy, we saying fuck them. And this is the power. We need to really exercise our power. Do I think we're going to do it? No. But Jewish people are exercising their power. So we need to exercise our spending power and follow Yeezy. If he goes to find some independent manufacturer, we still going to buy them Yeezys. Now, they're saying that the patents and all that shit, you don't own the patents. I don't know how deep that goes at the end of the day, but we love them Yeezys. We're going to continue to buy them Yeezys, right? And think about what he did with the Yeezy. Nobody's ever done what he did except Michael Jordan.
Nope.
Nobody.
Nope.
I don't care who you talking about. Jay-Z has sneakers.
Yep.
Dame, that all these people have
50.
sneakers, right? 50.
Yep.
None of them done with the Yeezys. Their Yeezys is a direct competitor with Michael Jordan. And Adidas, right? I don't think can stop that. We need, because when you talk about J.P. Morgan Chase, when you're talking about all these independent institutions, all these media companies and stuff, you do have Jewish people at the head, and a lot of times Jewish people that own these companies, and they're allowed to exercise their power. The problem is in Black America, we don't own shit like that. We always got to do a partnership deal, or we always got to go sit underneath this person. And like Kanye said, they're under your contract. So, what they do, they grab Nori by the fucking throat and say, you better apologize. They nudge Charlemagne, they nudge Ebro and say, look, man, you better go handle this, because he who, pays rules. He who pays rules. So my thing is with the whole situation, I want to see some more independent Black companies raised up that can exercise power. So I think this could only be a good thing for Yeezy if he pivots right.
Hell, Adidas is famous off the back, of hip hop.
Talk to Russell Simmons, tell you that.
Beginning.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It went from Russell Simmons and Run DMC and went dead once they left and dipped off, and then it came right back with Yeezy. And you don't see an Adidas emblem anywhere near Yeezy, but motherfuckers is buying them. And the knockoff ones they used to throw in Foot Locker, things like that, ain't nobody wearing them shit, so they wearing them to go ball or go play in the dirt, some shit like that. But I want to talk about these the hip hop, I guess, media, or some of the names that you
the Ebros, the Charlemagnes, the Duvals, the motherfucking sellouts at this point. I can't believe it, bro.
You know what's wild? Behind closed doors, we ain't gonna name no names, but behind closed doors, we know that they're full of shit.
Right.
Because behind closed doors, they're agreeing that these motherfuckers are in their pockets and there's nothing they can do about it, because the second Nori has a Kanye on for the third time, and he says something out of pocket, not only do you have to take it down, you have to apologize. You got to go on 17 different shows and apologize. You got to make sure that you get on this hip-hop platform and this, and you apologize because somebody's in your pocket, somebody's in your ass, somebody got their hand in your back telling you, hey, yo, you better take that shit down or we're going to bring up XYZ from A, B, and C. And oh, shit, I can't let that fuck up my life. We got to get going again. This is the sad part about some of these social media pro-black social media people and media and things like that. When it's good and everything is lively and everything is cool, it's cool. But when shit hits the fan and it's time to really stand up and possibly lose $1 or $2, or possibly lose a sponsor or two, oh hell no, we're gonna go against the grain and say whatever they want, because we ain't fucking up our life, we ain't fucking up our family. You think Kanye ain't got kids? And like I said, these is billionaire problems, right? Don't agree with everything Kanye says, but at the end of the day, he is the only one, and has been the only one since he's came out to lay on the sword. It was him that sat there live when Katrina was underwater and said George Bush does not care about black people. It was his records that he said, nah, wait till I get my money right.
Told you.
Because I'm going to show my ass, and I'm going to do it for my people. A lot of people insulting his mother, and a lot of people doing this and saying what his mother would think if she was here. We don't know, because what if they calculated this whole shit together? A lot of people screaming mental health. That's a popular word out here that they've weaponized. Mental health. As if this man is sick. He's made $1 billion being sick and irrational, and was able to save $1 billion being sick and irrational and having all these assets. Man, y'all out here tripping, man.
Yeah, man. It's Kanye said it himself in a recent interview. He said he likes to cut the grass so you can see the snakes. But like you said, excellent point. Kanye's been telling you who he was the whole time. He's been telling you, man. Even in the songs, man. He told you about what was really going on. He got quiet for a minute. People thought he was like everybody else, but he never was. My thing is, where the hell are the Jay-Z's at? Where you at? Because you one of them other guys that been kind of telling us too. And been kind of standing on this thing, and you bailing people out of jail, and you going to Cuba, and you doing these little quasi-revolutionary things. But when it comes time to speak up, your mouth is shut because what people understand, what black people understand 100% is they understand power, bro. And they understand that we have it. We don't know how to exercise it, but they know that other people are going to exercise their power. Remember, maybe a week and a half ago, we was talking about this, and we was like, yo, they gonna start, stripping shit away. Who would have thought Adidas? Who would have thought Balenciaga? Who would have thought, his documentary and all this stuff, Def Jam, all this stuff will be stripped from him. Some part of my mind thinks that he wanted all of this. I don't think he's that stupid. I mean, he's been watching the cancel culture. He's been observing stuff. Some part in my mind thinks that, man. I don't think because he wants his woman back. I don't think he has no mental health issues. No shit like that. I don't buy that, bro.
Me either. I think it's calculated. I don't know why. I don't know for what.
Me either, right.
I don't know the next play in this chess game, you know what I'm saying? But I'm damn sure watching, and it is no accident. He is not dumb. He sat in some of the meetings with the 1%. You don't become a billionaire and not sit in a few meetings and understand a few things or two that a lot of us common folk ain't privy to. This shit, he ain't dumb. I don't know what's going to happen, but he ain't dumb, and he's exposing a lot of cards from a lot of different people and how they feel. It was on their personalities within this black culture calling that man a Nazi today. Y'all look it up for yourself.
Name him.
It was Charlamagne on the Breakfast Club. Call him a Nazi. He said he's a Nazi, bro.
All right, so what you gonna say the same thing, Talib Kweli?
And these are people that we've respected. These are people that we went to bat for, and we just got to call a spade, and it is what it is. What's up with the fuck shit? A lot of y'all rode for Dr. Lewis or Minister Farrakhan, right? What is he saying any different than Kanye? Kanye quoted Minister Farrakhan.
Yeah.
So y'all go with the minister because it looks good and it's pro-black and it seems good, but when you have a hip-hop artist as Kanye, when he goes a little off the rail, but y'all deem that mental health, now all of a sudden he's an anti-Semite, what side are y'all playing on? I don't know, man.
I mean, who owns iHeartMedia?
We damn sure know
who owns Hot 97? You know what I mean? Who owns, all these different companies, man? It's easy to see. Like, you think that you got power. You think that you got this, but you really don't. But still, the people like Kanye West understood that he was going to lose. Like, what other person is going to stand to lose $600 million pretty much overnight within minutes to stand on something, to stand on his principle? You only could commend it. Again, we don't agree with everything he says.
No.
But something about that, when somebody stands on something, I'm like, okay, that's some real shit. And he's standing on it. I don't know where it's going to go. To me, if I was him, I would not apologize at this point. I think it's beyond that. Stand on your shit, move your company, and if you can come out of this and still sell your Adidas somewhere else, your Yeezy somewhere else, people still going to buy them. You can say, fuck everybody. Dog, if I had $140 million and I was worth $1 billion, I'll say, fuck everybody.
Yep.
I would say what the fuck I want to say. I would not care.
Yep.
I promise you I would not care.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? We damn sure don't care now.
Don't care now.
On some real shit. We know certain things, they ain't really in us to really say, but shit. You know what I mean? Fuck it.
Fuck y'all. And here's the last thing. This is the last point I'll make.
Yeah,
You make great points, great show. Ain't nobody condoning hurting a soul. If he came on there in this platform saying, hurt somebody, hurt a group of people, let's get out there and rally up and hurt these group of people, wouldn't be on here vouching for it. That's not what that man said, but that's what the narrative is being steered as, and it just has to make you think. So let's, as a people, think for 1 second. You can disagree with George Floyd comments. You could disagree with the White Lives Matter shit, even though I think that was a strategic move. You can think and get upset about slavery was a choice, even though I think that was a strategic move as well. But let's kind of pay attention to what's going on as a people, and let's do that a little bit in silence, because our voices are the strength and the weapon out here that really move this shit. And you think these white folk and these people in power position ain't looking at black Twitter and things like that and seeing what we're talking about and riding that as the excuse too? So let's think.
Right.
Indeed.
Now, I want to talk about Brittany Griner.
Oh, shit.
Today, your girl, right?
Man.
she was denied. She was denied. You know what I mean? She still has to sit in there. I guess she was trying to get like an appeal and whatnot. It was denied. I mean, what do you think, man? They say the condition she's in is pretty bad, pretty horrible. Do you think she's being used as an example now? How do you feel?
Absolutely, I do. But here's the thing. Here's the thing people ain't talking about, right? That's why we do what we do here on this show.
Right.
I feel bad for Brittany Griner because I don't think that her crime is fitting the time at all. I think Brittany Griner falls victim of not only a political play in Russia, I think she's falling to a political play in America as well.
Yep.
Let's keep it 1,000. They don't give a fuck about Brittany Griner in America.
Right.
They don't. But she is the perfect spokesperson for all the agendas that are being pushed in America. She's a black woman who happens to be a lesbian, who happens to be the center of this Me Too LGBTQ movement. And we all know that they could steer the narrative. Well, you know that this woman is being this because of Russ's hate for the LGBTQ community, and we can start pushing that. And if she's a black woman, and we can start pushing that in the way of a feminist movement that does not care about black women. It's a lot of play being put into this, and I think that unfortunately she's just a political pawn. They knew damn well that appeal was going to get denied. You see brothers, you fucking what's my man's name? Gunner, he's sitting there doing 17 appeals in America and can't get the fuck out and ain't been charged with nothing. This happens everywhere. But she is once again being played as a political pawn. They knew it wasn't going to happen in America. I don't see them giving up Russian spies to Vladimir Putin for Brittany Griner, unfortunately. And I think that this will play on, and this woman, this young woman, may rot in jail for the remaining of this sentence. We may not see her for another 9 years. And that is the harsh reality of it. I don't care what these people in America, I don't care what you're seeing on these television stations are saying and praying about. I know there's some genuine people within the NBA and WNBA circles that know that woman and care about her, so that's genuine. But the shit we hearing on TV, man, I don't think they give a shit about that woman.
Right. Real talk. I agree with it, man. I don't have much to say about that. I want to move over to this next story, and we'll get up out of here. NBA YoungBoy, he turned down, I think it was like a $60 million deal with Atlantic Records, but he signed with Motown Records. Now, NBA YoungBoy is shaking up the game, breaking a whole bunch of records. They say he has 29 billion streams, some shit crazy like that. Everybody loves this dude. I don't rock with his music like that, but I'm not hating on him. I just don't really, rock with it, relate to it. This dude's one of the biggest artists of all time at this point. What do you think about him, saying, forget Atlantic, it's not on Motown?
He's killing the game. He's changing the game. And I'm not mad at him given where he was and where it looked like the trajectory, of his life was going. A couple years ago on this podcast, we was hoping that brother stayed alive. We was hoping this brother stayed out of jail for the rest of his life. And a turn or two or a fart or two in the wrong direction, this brother was going to be either dead or in jail.
Yeah.
And now he's one of the biggest streaming artists in history.
Yeah.
One of the biggest selling artists in history. Seems like he's dropping an album every other week. When's the last artist we seen doing that? It was mixtapes and it was Yeezy. And we thought he was changing the game. And now this brother is monetizing all of this stuff and gaining an enormous amount of revenue, and his fan base is absolutely insane. If you're from the ages of 10 to 22,
yeah,
you rocking NBA YoungBoy. He's getting rocked in high school games. I'm listening to NFL players. They rocking YoungBoy. You got the young kids doing it. So I ain't going to hate on him. I don't know for his songs, but I appreciate where he's going. I appreciate where he's going. And just keeping your head on straight, man. You know what I mean? Just the things you've done in the past, the mistakes, you can't change those, but keep changing and moving on in the future. And hopefully one day as you grow and as you evolve, this crazy fan base that you have, that message starts changing a little bit.
Yeah.
And you can start really affecting people in a good way because your following is insane.
Great advice. Great advice. Him, Kodak, guys like Pooh Shiesty, like my man Nino was saying, they get that right mentorship, that right person who kind of steers them in the right direction. They could be very dangerous out here.
Oh, yeah. For
Definitely.
The right reasons, man. Salute.
Yeah, but another episode of the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast is in the books. We hope that everybody definitely enjoyed what we had to say today. And as always, man, if you're on YouTube, like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. That's your brother Sam, man, Viral Hip Hop News. I'm your brother, Oh God. Hip Hop News Uncensored together with the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. Over and out.
Peace.